So I'm going into a power training testing cycle where I'm applying the mechanics of fixed fit, how we view movement, into more explosive movement patterns. Why? It's because I'm going to quote one of my one-on-one clients. He says, I work to live, not live to work. And I think that applies in terms of fitness as well. Like, I work out to live, I don't live to work out. I know a lot of people are like, uh, I live to work out, I live in the gym, all that. That's fine and all, but most of us, we're using this journey of working out, training in the gym to improve quality of life. So most people, especially those that I'm training for a specific sport or a hobby, if you think about it, everything that's a sport hobby or anything we do that's a fitness activity, not just an exercise, not a training exercise, is very dynamic, it's very explosive. Even I would say running is an explosive movement, right? That's where you have to produce a lot of power if you want to run a little faster, absorb all that force or energy. But even think about things like a golf swing. That is definitely an explosive movement, a powerful movement. Think of something like surfing. You're going to have to paddle through waves. You have to pop up onto a surfboard. That's an explosive movement. And think about all the fitness movements that are fun. You definitely need a lot of explosive movement, even for like something like a burpee. Think about, Olympic lifts. So anywho, my training is going to focus on that because I want to dive deeper into helping my clients with those movements. So again, you have to have that understanding or the baseline of how the body works in mechanics on basic exercises, static lifts. But then when you add the speed component, then how does it actually apply? So imagine a golf swing, right? You could get your lat to fire, your obliques when you set up. Maybe you could keep your lat on when you rotate and pause. But then again, it's a whole different ball game when you're starting to rotate and swing at game time speed. Same thing with Olympic lifting or working with a couple wrestlers right now. So the idea is understand how to do these explosive movements with the right mechanics and kind of pair the two together. Because I always say application is key. So you could do all the exercise and strength and conditioning drills or corrective exercises for surfing, for golf, for wrestling, for those examples, but it won't necessarily translate into your technique if you don't practice it or apply it or understand the mechanics. So I have 4 movements that I was playing around with, and whenever I do a new testing cycle, I customize my workouts. That's one of our big concepts in our CrossFit group classes. Everyone comes in, everyone has a different goal. So whatever is written on the board is just the concept we're teaching, but feel free, we tell our members to feel free to customize it for their goals. So these are the movements that I chose instead of the movements that were kind of programmed for the class WOD, class workout. And that's what I did. So check it out. I'll go over the intent for each one, and this is just the start of the journey. There will be more videos to come. The idea is understand the mechanics of the more dynamic, explosive movements so that I could perform it better, and then help people with injuries. When one of those movements causes pain or injury, we know exactly why it happens and the root cause of it. Also, from a performance standpoint, again, how do we apply the new mechanics approach, the new muscles that we're finding and utilizing, correcting, into the hobbies that we like. So check it out. So I'm just doing some what I call bar rows. So the focus for me on this one is when I pull, usually I'll do these bar rows for rebuilding the shoulder, targeting my lats, my pec, in this upper body rounded position. You'll see that the left bar actually kicks up, my left side, when I pull with speed or with force. So when I add power, which is speed, to it, I tend to shrug up on my left trap, and then that's, good to know. So whenever I drive, I still use my left shoulder. And then here I'm doing some deadlifts. A lot of times people turn the deadlift into like a low back raise or just a hip hinge. But for us, it really focuses on that knee extension or a violent VMO drive where you'll see how my leg straightens out violently. When it's in the right position, then it hands off into that hip drive. That's how you jump. That's how you do Olympic lifts, mechanically sound. So I'm able to produce a lot of power here and then feel that I'm still balanced where I can feel both glutes, the whole deal. So it feels way different than kind of like a slow deadlift, which we're accustomed to doing. Now, if you see the row, same idea. You'll see that violent knee extension is what starts it, and then the hips open up. I'm trying to row for power, which is the idea of rowing, versus traditionally people have the same speed the whole way. And then what I noticed is that my left leg locks out before my right, so that's kind of cool. Found another little issue when I produce a lot of power. So this is a fun exercise that I just thought of. I've never tried. But again, working with wrestlers, things like that, I want to be more explosive. I do jiu-jitsu, so I'm trying to push off one leg, making sure I'm pushing through the glute and hamstring as well.